Have you ever wondered, is Australia part of Europe? You're not alone. Let's clear up this confusion once and for all. Australia is not part of Europe. It's its own continent, nestled between the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Despite historical ties with European countries, especially the United Kingdom, Australia is geographically far apart from Europe. Australia is located in the southern hemisphere, surrounded by the Indian Ocean to the west and the Pacific Ocean to the east. If you've ever looked at a world map, you'll find Australia hanging out down under, far from Europe. Australia is closer to countries like Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and New Zealand, not Europe. Australia is a vast land, the sixth largest country in the world, offering deserts, tropical rainforests, and stunning coastlines. Oceania is a region that includes Australasia, Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia, with Australia being the largest country in this region. Australia is the big player in Oceania in terms of size and influence, often what people first think of when Oceania comes up in conversation. Europe, on the other hand, is way up north, quite a distance from Australia, located mainly in the northern hemisphere. Europe is a patchwork of around 50 countries, each with a unique culture, language, and history, unlike Australia, which is one giant landmass. While Australia and Europe may be miles apart geographically, they share a deep-rooted historical and cultural connection. Much of this stems from Australia's colonial past, with the British first landing on Australian shores in the late 18th century. The British influence has left a lasting impact from the English language to the legal system, and even the Union Jack on the Australian flag. Over the years, waves of European immigrants from Italy, Greece, and Germany have made Australia their home, enriching the nation's cultural fabric. You'll find Italian cafes next to Greek bakeries and German beer festivals, especially in cosmopolitan cities like Sydney and Melbourne. Australia also has strong economic and political ties with Europe, particularly the European Union, through trade agreements and educational exchanges. You might find it odd that Australia often competes in European sports events, like the Eurovision Song Contest, due to historical ties and a love for competition. Australia has a strong sporting culture and a history of excelling in various sports, making European competitions a natural interest. The British influence in Australia is undeniable, shaping the country in numerous ways, from language to legal systems. One reason the question, is Australia part of Europe, comes up is the noticeable presence of European communities in Australia. Post-World War II, Australia saw a significant influx of European immigrants, contributing to the workforce and enriching Australia's cultural tapestry. Regarding currency, Australia has its own. The Australian dollar, not the euro, but maintains a robust trade relationship with Europe. Navigating time zones between Australia and Europe can be a bit of a head-scratcher, with differences sometimes up to 11 hours. If planning a trip between Australia and Europe, you must sort out your visas, with specific requirements for both Australians and Europeans. Let's dive into some quick facts about Australia. Its capital is Canberra, not Sydney, and it's divided into 6 states and 2 territories. Australia is a melting pot of cultures, with over 25 million people calling it home, from indigenous communities to European immigrants. Australia is a haven for unique wildlife, with around 80% of the animals here being indigenous and found nowhere else. Traveling from Europe to Australia involves a long flight, often with a stop in cities like Dubai or Singapore, and a significant time difference. Traveling in Australia and Europe offers different but equally exciting experiences, from Europe's rich history to Australia's great outdoors. So, to put it simply, Australia is not part of Europe. It's a fascinating continent in the southern hemisphere, offering a world of experiences waiting to be explored.